My Lords, it's a pleasure to follow the Noble Lord Addington, and just to reassure him that I haven't actually dreamed up Amendment 179. It was originally presented in the other place, and it's something that I'm taking forward with the support from Play England, and I hope it will be clear that it's very clear what it means. But I was happy to attach my name to the Amendment 165 the Noble Lord Addington's just presented. In a sense, the First Amendment we've had here is a subset of the broader amendment. Amendment 165 is about formal play, if you like, organised games, organised activities, structured activities. My amendment covers those, but also looks more broadly at unstructured play, unstructured interaction, where young people in particular have the chance to mix. So what this proposed new clause does is introduce a play sufficiency duty to ensure that every local planning authority must, as far as is reasonably practical, assess, secure, enhance and protect, I think protect is particularly important, the sufficient opportunities for children's play when exercising any of its planning functions. Now, I think far too often play is seen as something frivolous, childish, something that is to be fitted around the edges of cramming for exams, rigid structured arrangements. Yet we know that play is essential for physical and mental health. It's vital for the development of minds and bodies. It offers a space for the flowering of social skills and the development, crucially, of independence, the ability to assess risks, to take risks, to deal with the consequences, in particularly an unstructured environment. And yet this is being squeezed out of children's lives in both urban and other environments. Noble Lord Addington talked about playing fields being sold off. Also, of course, we've seen a huge amount of closure of swimming pools, which has real public safety implications. But much less noticed is the way in which we've lost the informal play spaces, the corners, the spaces where the children can gather and simply interact, maybe without an adult overseeing it, and that's really good. If they haven't got the space, it's not going to happen. Often these spaces are treated as expendable. They're sold off, they're packed with infill homes perhaps. Some places still exist, but they're scattered with drug paraphernalia and choked with litter, and I'm sure many noble lords like myself have taken part in litter picks in spaces just like that and seen how incredibly inappropriate they are when they should be places for children to play. And of course, possibly the biggest and worst of all, we've seen our streets taken over by cars, which is once where children used to play. Now, Article 31 of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child guarantees a children's right to play, yet we're simply not living up to that. And you think about a child trapped in temporary accommodation, more than 160,000 of them, frequently bed and breakfast accommodation, without any kind of provision for play, or the young carer who's forced to put aside play to take up adult-style responsibilities, the 4.5 million children in poverty. And one of the things we've seen is many public spaces have been privatised. The benches taken out. If you're going to sit down, you have to go into a coffee shop and have money. And many of our young people don't have those spaces to interact because those spaces have been privatised. And the security guards will arrive and chase them off if they gather in a group. And that's the reality. Now, as I said, this amendment is exactly the same as the one that was debated in the Commons. It wasn't put to the vote, but there was considerable expressions of support from in the Commons. And in response then, the Minister said, the government agrees that access to play space is vital. Well, good. And then the Minister added, which is why strong protections are already in place. Now, I think the practical reality, what we can see is happening, means that's clearly demonstrably not the case, and that's what this aims to introduce. As Eugene Minogue from Play England said, we've had 17 years without a national commitment to play, which is nothing short of a generational failure. Millions of children have grown up without the opportunities, experiences and support that they should have had. Now, again, as I was saying in the last group, the Labour Party actually has decent form on this. In 2008, and noble lords might or might not want to dig out the photo here, but Ed Balls and Andy Burnham, then the Secretaries of State, got together on a playground on a swing to launch the play strategy for the Labour Party. But then, 2 years later, the coalition government came in and threw it out. Now, Wales and Scotland, stepping ahead on this issue as they have on so many others, areas of public and environmental health, have enacted play sufficiency legislation. In Wales, local authorities are legally required to assess and improve play opportunities. Scotland's law integrates play issues into local development plans with a focus on child-friendly neighbourhoods. So I really hope this is an amendment that I think we will hear broad support around the Houses, as we heard in the Commons. I hope the Minister will take this seriously and is something might be prepared to have a meeting with noble lords interested with Play England and see if this can be taken forward as a really constructive, practical step. We need to provide a foundation of health and well-being for our young people. This is a way of giving local authorities the responsibility to do that. And as we were discussing in the last group, we may have local authorities with different political groups in power with different perspectives, but to give our young people a healthy environment is surely something that the government here in Westminster has a responsibility to deliver for all of the children in England.